What's going on, guys? So this has no grade, this is not actually a Zaku, and this is Double October. Let's get to it. Alright, guys, so this is actually a not quite Master Grade Monday, but at the same time, it is the first video of Double October 2018. And we're going to start off with something we've definitely never looked at before, and it is one of the no grade 1 to 100 kits from 00, and it is the Tieren Ground type. One of the hardest things to say. And this actually is not mine, it actually belonged to a buddy who came up here. His name is Thomas.
Yo!
And if you want to talk about yourself just briefly, because you built the kit, so just give my lovely fans here just a quick walkover about you.
Name's Thomas. I also go by Rodimus 13 on some of the boards and groups and stuff. I'm not like I'm certainly not an expert gunpla builder or anything like that. This is one of my first major, let's customize this thing with paint and weathering and stuff like that. It was originally done for Gunpla Builders Association's
Cannon fodder?
Cannon fodder contest.
There you
Yes,
go.
thank you.
So that was actually not long ago.
Yeah.
You just did this guy, what, a month ago?
Yeah, and it was actually kind of funny because around New Year's, I saw this thing in my local comic book store, 8th Dimension Comics, and picked it up, and then like the next day they announced, hey, we're doing a cannon fodder contest. I'm like, well, you can't get much more cannon fodder than this guy.
Really not. And basically, for anybody not really too familiar with 00, in the first season at least, the Tierens were definitely like the grunt suit, and clearly designed after the old school Zakus.
I mean, it even has the 06.
I was literally saying it's got the MS-06 on it, so yeah, it's definitely very much a standard old Zaku. I couldn't think of the word all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Got it. We're going crossover universes here. And oddly enough, I met this lovely gentleman at the most recent Houston Gundam Club meet, where he walked in talking about my Lupus For Lupus contest, didn't even see me sitting there wearing my Showkey Reviews shirt. And I'm like, he's like, has anybody else ever heard of this? And I'm like, over here, buddy. Right here.
And then I looked at you, I was like, oh, that's the guy. I didn't even know. I knew you were in Texas. I didn't know you were here in Houston. And,
yep. And the funny thing is, like, it's like, because you had not even really seen my channel except for finally seeing the video of, I guess, one of the announcements.
Yeah.
And you had brought this guy along, which we're going to look at here in a second, but I wanted to do a quick introduction, one of those words. And, of course, we're going to take a look at the box real quick. Now, you do something interesting with your boxes. You actually like to more or less deconstruct them and turn them into kind of a sleeve version. Yes. So we're going to be careful looking at the box because it is just taped together, which is fine. We're just going to look at it just right quick. But you got the great shot of the Tieren Ground type right there with this big old, like, arm-mounted bazooka.
Yes.
And the lovely green paint. I'm pretty sure one of my favorite artists probably did this. We'll figure that out as we go. Excuse me. We've got the 00 standard logo here. We've got the 1/100, of course, no master grade, hence why this is a not quite master grade Monday. And you've got more Tierens in the background. Now, they did several different versions. You had the space type, which was blue, if I remember correctly, and had the big tanks on its butt.
On its knees, actually, I think.
Were they on I could have sworn I had one coming out the back going almost vertical.
Might have. I remember at least one of them had like tanks coming out.
There was one of them that had them on the knees.
Maybe that
for
was
sure.
The pink one for.
That might have been the Taozoi or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
But I don't think they did that in a 1/100. I think they did the space type, but not that one. But either way, you know, if and when I get them in HG, which considering when we're filming this, I don't even know. But you get, of course, MSJ062A. So it's basically a Zaku 2. It just is. And Tieren Ground type 1/100, and you got all the same stuff repeated right there. And you actually get a minor story right there. If you want to go ahead and read it, go right ahead. And I'm going to leave that on screen for just 1 second. All right, good. And you've got Bandai 2008 right there. So it is a significantly old kit. So, which way am I going to go? All right, coming down to this side, you definitely can see how this guy is extremely Zaku-like. And you even got this little kind of tank hatch right there, which really reminds me of that hardhead that the hard head
Oh,
over there, because he
yeah.
definitely has a hatch just like that on the
Yeah.
front. Definitely modeled all in what is essentially Zaku green, yellow accents, and got obligatory front and rear. And then there's your mono eye that actually rotates, I don't know, like a Zaku.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's actually very cool. I'm kind of
And kind of
jealous.
like the most Zaku's, you can take the part of the head off. In this case, just like the entire helmet assembly, and you can rotate it around.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Ah,
We're not there yet.
oh no.
This is where I mock things that I don't know anything about on the box. So here you got a close-up of what I guess is going to be looking at the face. You got a nice little drawing there. I don't know what is going on around him, but it's a thing. Looks like we're looking at, got some backpack stuff happening. A butt there. It's showing the crotch and the face at the same time. I don't know. Oh yeah, it's got like clear crystal-y parts for like lights and such. That's actually neat. You don't get that very often. And you've got, hey, here are all the weapons. So you've got what appears to be a machine gun of some sort. Some kind of drummy looking thing. I'm assuming they're all part of the gun and it just blew it up for no apparent reason. And then you've got what looks to be a tank hatch, and then a going into battle and dying situation. And illustrated by Takuya. I don't know if it just means this or the whole thing. We'll find out. And then you come around this side and you get the whole box art thing again. And it's number 7 in the line, so fairly early, but I don't think there were that many 1/100s anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But you got mechanical detail. Yay. And come around this side, and you get the 550 millimeter rocket. Good lord, that is a big piece of machinery. And you got some kind of batleth thing going on there. And hey, weapon storage. We like weapon storage. And here he's groping his weapon. And you've got a thing on the knee. Looks like the side of a barn. And hey, he's got a rifle. It does rifle-y things. And looks like he does come with tiny little figures. That's definitely interesting. And there you go, obligatory shot of everything going on there. And you've got a little bitty pilot coming out the cockpit. That's pretty neat. When was the last time you saw that on a kit? And then a couple little extra little soldier figures. That's pretty awesome. And then you've got, don't stick a Tieren in your 3-year-old's face because it'll hurt. And then you got the little guy on the toilet. And then 2,800 yen, so very affordable, probably about 30 some odd dollars. And what did you end up getting it for?
Oh, I can't even remember, but that sounds about right. Maybe a little
probably
bit.
32-ish.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And here's the important part. The box ended up upside down. I did see the CG Works. Hold on. CG Works is by E Plus Digital Works. Yay for them! I've never heard of them, but they do really good work. But hey, it still ends up upside down, even in 00CTOBER of this year. So let's go ahead and get this guy out here, because obviously you've got it built already, or there'd be no point to us having this conversation.
Yep.
So let's get to it, guys. Alright guys, now we have the Tieren out here, and as you can tell, of course you saw it in the cold open, but it's not exactly standard colors, which is why this is sort of a builder showcase as well, because Thomas actually brought it to the meet with him, because it was his first meet to come to, and he wanted to brag.
A little bit, yeah. I'm not even gonna lie. I was really proud of how this turned out, and I wanted to show it off.
Yeah, as well you should. I mean, it's very, very nice. And because I've never gotten to see one, I'm really impressed. Did a really good job. What was your inspiration? Because clearly we have a whole lot of ketchup and mustard thrown on this guy as well.
Well, because they're from the, was it the Human Reform League?
Yes.
They're basically like the space Russians. And
yes.
So space Soviets, like specifically, is kind of how they tend to represent them. And so I kind of wanted this red and yellow, very Soviet-style color scheme. And while I like the design of the suit, I thought that the colors on it were kind of drab. Like, it's all one shade of green with a few bits of gray for the joints and stuff in the weapons. And I thought it should do something. And so, like, when I was looking at this kit, I just sort of saw in my mind just painting these exterior armor bits red with the yellow accents. And I actually, when I saw it in the store, I actually had walked away from it, and then that idea just kept surfacing in my head, and I actually ended up coming back later that day to pick up this kit because I knew I wanted to do something with it.
Oh, yeah.
And then the cannon fodder contest came up. It's like, okay,
It just coincidentally, you totally got what you needed out of it. Yeah, like I said, it is definitely cannon fodder. These guys really didn't last long once the Gundams came on the scene.
Hmm.
Plus, they were way behind technologically compared to the
Everybody.
Union and the what was the other one?
Here's,
The Union was the U.S. and what was the Europe? It was
uh,
EAU, I think.
something like that.
I think it
Yeah.
was the EAU.
I was about to say Orb, and that's
No,
that's
wrong series. Wrong series. Yeah, there was no crappy suits like this in Seed. But yeah, they are definitely like they're a workhorse design. They're definitely an older design, and in a lot of ways, have you ever seen the movie Robot Jocks?
Yes.
Very much like the Soviet designs in
Yeah.
there.
Now that I think about it,
If you
yeah,
painted this
totally.
thing black and gave it two extra legs, it would definitely be like Alexander's
Or heck,
suits there.
if you painted it white
You
and
get to go with the
red,
white and red
it'd
accents.
look
It was
cool.
still actually with the big shoulder lights. Yeah, that totally works. If you turn these things, I don't know, do they move? I assume there's a poly cap right there that allows me to
Yeah.
rotate. Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah, look at this. Look. Oh, it's almost there, isn't it? Because even like the shrunk down head, it never really had a. Anyways, we can geek out about giant robot things another time. But yeah, you've done a heck of a job painting this guy. You got a lot of weathering going on. We'll try to get as much of it
Yeah.
as we can. I'm being very, very careful because I know things are painted. Is the whole thing painted, or is it a lot of it raw green and then painted on the
The
red parts?
everything that's green, that's green is the natural plastic.
Okay.
The joints and the hands and stuff are the natural colors. The weapons, I went ahead and I painted those.
So you actually did do it.
Yeah, so I actually painted over all of the.
Yeah, because it doesn't look the dark gray like everything
No.
else.
I picked up it was a gunship gray or something like
Love
that.
that color. How does this come off? Is it straight out or
Yeah,
turn?
straight out.
Okay. Does it rotate though?
Uh,
Yeah, it does a little bit. It's just on a peg. Because I wanted to pull it off because one, it was making him lopsided, and two, I wanted to get a closer look.
Yeah, so I painted that, and actually we'll probably show it when we look at some of the armor bits, but
No, we won't.
the
I'm going to skip whatever it is you want to look at.
the underside of the armors are painted in that same color because
Yes.
I was thinking about how like real military vehicles are. You'll sometimes have like stuff that is the base primer or something, and then you'll have whatever their camo or
Yep.
normal color painted on the outside, but they're not going to worry about under details or anything like that because
Not generally, but, you know, you never know. Yeah, so this is basically big Russian machine gun.
Mm-hmm.
And ammo pod here does come off, but I'm not going to pull it.
Yeah,
It's all
and
good.
it can
And
come off and
does something plug in there?
the ammo pod can
Oh, it's ambidextrous. Okay.
because you can attach it to either arm.
Okay.
I ended up
does-
leaving
Oh, I see. Okay, this
because
is different.
those are actually on a hard point themselves,
Yeah, I see that
so you
now.
can pull them straight off and switch them.
Oh,
But I ended
neato.
up deciding on that configuration because it allowed for some particular poses that I wanted.
Nice. And I like the kind of hand guards here to protect the hands from the weapon blast. That's actually
And,
neat. I like that.
one of
That's a cool-
them-
Are those actually supposed to be on hinges and then it broke?
Yes, on one of them. It
Okay,
broke.
that one definitely broke, for
Yeah,
sure.
You can probably see.
And that one didn't break, but I'm not about to try to rotate it.
I would appreciate that.
Yeah. One thing I never want to do is break someone else's kit. I don't like breaking my own on camera. Machine gun is interesting. I like that. Though your camera, quote unquote, that's probably the only thing I would criticize.
Yeah.
Just make that a flat thingy. As we discussed earlier before the camera was rolling, definitely invest in some other color foil sheets. Actually, I think I might have a red metal foil sheet somewhere. I'll have to dig through my mess. But I think I got one somewhere, but that would totally work on this.
That could be cool.
And as you guys can see, he definitely has some water slides on this. And you said you got those from...
USA Gundam Store.
Gotcha. And it was just kind of a universal, just whatever.
It was like 1/100 scale caution marks version 3 or something like that.
Yeah, so you got like these down here,
and
then random ones just all over. Little red.
there's
Oh, I didn't even notice that one. It blended in well.
yeah, some of them don't show up nearly as well as I would hope. The red ones in particular just kind of disappear almost.
Yeah, but they would, if it wasn't weathered and stuff, they would probably pop.
Mm-hmm.
But usually the red is probably best on a white.
Yeah.
Or yellow, obviously. But, you know, given that it is what it is, you
And,
know. And actually a lot of these look like 00, warning stickers, like these little triangle dudes. Those are very much like some things that come with the 00 sets.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they're very, very close. Though you have like a like a BP logo here. That's so funny. I've never even seen that one before. That's interesting.
Some of them I could read the text on it. So like there's a lot of them say like armor lock point or something like that.
Yeah, like
so
right there. That literally says it right there.
So
There's no way we can read that.
I'm very close.
Not on the camera.
So I tried to put those where I felt like armor joints would meet up.
Mm-hmm. That's the same way they try to plan out the layout of stickers and stuff like that.
And then
now, why 13?
13 is like a number I tend to use for a lot of things. As I mentioned before, I sometimes go as Rodimus 13. And
You're one of the original 13 projects. Is
Not
that why?
quite.
Is that what it was?
I was 13 years old when I first created that that name for myself, and it has stuck.
I guess it works. It is what it is.
And plus, my birthday falls on a 13th day, so it just always sticks in my mind. So whenever I need to pull a number out for something, 13 tends to be where I start with. And
That scared me for a second. I didn't realize it had forearm rotation.
Yep.
I haven't played with it much. It's just been on camera. Like, I start rotating it. I was like, wait a minute. Am I breaking it? And then I realized, okay, that's forearm rotation. That's a good thing.
Yep.
We like forearm rotation around here.
Yeah, his articulation is actually very impressive for his design as well as just for the age of the suit. Because I remember people telling me when I started getting into Gunpla, like, you want to be careful of anything that's, like, older than, like...
2010 or so.
Yeah.
How does the thing come off the backpack?
You pull straight down.
Straight.
Well, actually, you can. That part is jointed, so you can rotate that.
So is it just plugged in this way?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay. The peg is facing down. Okay, I've been trying to figure it out, and I didn't just want to pull in a random direction. Straight down off the peg. It's on a poly cap, I assume.
Yeah.
It's not coming, so I'm getting scared. Oh, it's coming. It's just coming very slowly.
Yeah.
Paint.
It has a long plug on it, I think.
Oh,
there we go.
Good lord. Oh, and it's pivoted. Okay.
Yep.
Well, you could have told me that. It probably would make my life a little easier. I'm fairly certain you said it, and it just didn't register. Okay, so this way we can see the butt skirt and the batleth here. I'm just going to not call it a batleth. How about that? Because
I think it's called like a carbon blade or something like that. I remember looking it up when I was when I was doing the little write-up on this thing.
It looks like one side is smaller than the other. Is that just optical illusion? It looks like this is a smaller side, or am I just crazy?
You might just be...
It looks like this has more blade. But maybe it's just the way you have it weathered. I'm just going to bump the camera. That's what I do. That's pretty cool, though. I like this thing. It's fun. Yeah. And, I mean, completely ineffectual usually in a close quarter combat. But, you know, back then, I say back then, in 00, you know, when you ran out of ammo, you basically just had to go punch the other guy until he was no longer there. Doesn't do very good against everybody's flying suits. That's the reason why these guys basically got their butts handed to them all the time.
If you think about who they were going up with, going up against when they were initially created, it makes sense to have those. But then, you know, the Gundams come around and pretty much everything doesn't work properly.
Well, even the flag and the enact would probably take this thing down because it's slow, it's on the ground. Okay, where does the hands separate to put weapons in? It looks like the front of the fingers come off.
Yeah, it's got a weird little setup.
Because it doesn't look like it's a front and back. It looks like it's a... okay, hold on.
Squeak.
It's okay, it happens. Squeaky chair. So what we refer to as the Corey chair. Where does it... Doesn't make sense.
Can you pop it off and hand it to me? Maybe
I will take the hand off. Okay, because clearly the back of the hand is coming off. I was thinking it opened across the knuckles here. But it does. Right here, the thumb.
The thumb comes with
it. It's the thumb and the knuckles. I'm just trying.
Yeah, it's really weird in comparison to everything else that I
assume it slides straight out. I just need to get like a thumbnail in there. Well, do it on the bottom. It's less visible. I think the paint is clogging it.
It might be a little paint.
Should I do the other hand or no? Did you paint the hands other than the weathering?
I did. The hands are the base color, but I did weather them. Okay,
so I'm just going to not. Okay. We'll just cover the fact that that's what it should do, and today it's not going to. It's fine. It's fine, Thomas. It's okay. But anyway, cool looking weapon. Did you paint the handle?
Yes.
I like
it. No!
It's fine. It's just still on camera. It's way over there. Okay, the whole reason I was doing all that was to pull out the ridiculous bazooka, which looks really friggin' sweet. It's very... Stardust Memory. It's very much what GPO2, GPO1, the big nuclear
bazooka.
It's very much that thing. except shorter, because that's like this.
Actually, it if you tug on it a little bit, it
Don't finish that sentence. Think about what you were saying, but no need to finish that
if
sentence.
you it
Nope.
can
There's
open
no
it
way.
up.
There's no way to save that sentence. You're good. But either way, the thing extends. The barrel extends and makes itself longer. That's all we need to say. Is that actually a missile, or is it?
I don't know. It had like a clear camera bit on it, but
It almost looks like an RPG. It's just like.
it almost does.
But I mean, it shoots standard ammo, right?
Yeah,
I like the Beware of Blast.
Yes.
There's my camera. I finally focused it.
Because that's also partially there because it looks like
Hey.
yep.
Ha! You painted that when it was assembled. Pointing it out. Actually, it looks like a cool design. It's cool masking. You accidentally masked it off very nicely. Sorry, I'm just laughing about what you said. It's too good. It's like, no reason to finish that sentence. We're good. We know what you were going to say. And this handle does rotate down.
Yes.
Oh, so it can come. Yeah, okay, I got it. Had to think about that. This is not a two-hander jobby. This is a one.
Yeah, it goes over the shoulder and you can put it in the hand.
Yep, and it plugs into the forearm, which we already discussed, rotates. And go ahead, slide that guy out of the way. Are you going to cooperate with me, big guy? So it's like a watch. It's like a giant watch. Okay, and then you can pull the hand off, put it on the handle, in theory. Once again, it comes down to the not being able to open the hand situation.
It's like you can.
I'll just fake it. There we go. We'll just try to fake it, and hopefully nothing breaks. Ha! I got it.
Yay.
Yay for not breaking anything. Oh, crap. There we go. Post into your... There we go. Neat. All right. Now he's got a big old bazooka.
Yeah.
I like big bazookas. And then you just reposition the shoulder armor however you like.
Exactly.
Just like a Zaku. Although I like the fact that it's definitely more out of the way than a Zaku's shoulder armor.
Yeah.
So that is a straight ripoff, let's just be honest. But this guy's cool and beefy. And I like that they showed that image of like the gun resting over the knee armor. Though how one makes that physically happen here, I'm not even going to try, to be totally
I
honest.
think that's more with the machine gun.
I think you can do it both.
But yeah.
How do you get the knee up that high? I mean, assuming he's squatting or kneeling about
You
as good as he can.
Yeah, you have to kind of get him in a kneeling position and then...
He's a big boy. Look at that guy. It's fun. All right, we'll cut for now because that's all the weapons and accessories for the most part. Oh no, not all the accessories. I'm dumb. Let's go other things. Sorry, forgot about the extra hand. The stuff's been laying over there just looking at me. So you get an extra open hand for the left side, so he can, I guess, more or less hold a weapon. If you want to, he can totally do this. Please do it. Please do it. Please do it. Thank you. He's like, hey, I got a big old bazooka. You want to look at it? Yeah. He's falling over. That's what happens when you build them to be top heavy. Good job, Russia. Build the most top heavy thing ever. It actually reminds me of a Zaku F2000 a little bit. Without being purple. He's just beefy. He's a big old dude. Okay, this is bothering me. All right, and we got even more accessories. Right here, you got little dudes. You got some little army men. So these are cool. I like the fact they give you two little soldiers. So some little HRL shoulders. I know that's right, but it sounds weird. But then you get the pilot that actually can pop out the top of the canopy. Right here. And as you stated, this can open, but it's probably not a good plan.
No, I can't even remember. I haven't tried to open it since I did the painting and sealing on it, so it's probably paint stuck.
Well, we can always try. It's just a spare beam saber, so it's not like it's going to hurt anything.
I know. I was just thinking it'd be appropriate if it was from a 00 kit.
It's not. I had to think about it. All right, so little plastic guy. Let's see if we can... It's either pry it open or push the back down. Yay!
There we go.
By the way, this is off a Kotobukiya kit. I don't even know what it was for. If I get a nail under you, please do it. Yeah, it opened. Oh, it came off. It's okay. We can put it back. Yeah. You can always glue that. Either way, he's got the little cockpit hole there. Now you can't see. But you can totally ride him like a tank. So that's pretty cool. Now, you just need to get good and paint these. Tiny brushes, my friend.
That's the,
Tiny brushes. I'm going to go ahead and put that back in place. Actually, there was almost nothing holding it down but the paint, so it is what it is. It ain't going to fall off, but, you know, I don't think there was necessarily a hinge left.
No, I don't think it was even hinged, to be honest. I think it's kind of like the...
Frictioned.
Like the SD Zaku heads, where you can take off the thing, but you just sort of reposition it or something.
Fair point. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break now. This is where I do the cool little transition, and then you hear the cool noise. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at articulation and closer up details as we can, because actually your red paint is actually really well done. It's hard to believe it's not a metal box attached to this guy. Like, you did a really good job on that, honestly.
Yeah, it's Tester's mica red. I got it because it was a pretty looking red color.
Was it Tester's or Tamiya?
No, sorry.
I was going to say, you said it was Tamiya earlier.
Tamiya, that's right,
Or
sorry.
or Tamiya.
The yellow, I think, is just random Tester's model kit paint that I have.
And that's why it looks significantly different and a little clumpier.
But the red paint is mica red, and I spray painted it on, and then I'm looking at it, and I notice it has like this really nice metallic flake, like something that you would see on a car, and I'm like, I'm gonna weather this thing.
Yeah, but the metallic still comes through, though.
And I'm gonna ruin this beautiful color. It felt like a crime.
So this is quite hammered. Was that just because of the finish, or
that's the way the plastic was.
So it actually has this hammered texture?
Exactly.
You're kidding.
I thought that was really cool. I also
So that's not just really bad orange peeling.
No, and I inadvertently did.
So the same thing up here too?
Yeah.
Huh.
I inadvertently did undercoloring because I spray painted the primer color on the bottom parts, and since I knew I was going to paint over it, I didn't worry about masking too much. And then I go and do actually mask off the gray parts when I go to paint the red. And then everything that had the gray on there came out a little bit darker. I was like, oh, I undershaded accidentally. Okay, that works.
And, okay, we talked about this off camera, though. The fact that this version of the knee shield has these extra bits on it that we don't even know what they're for. But they look like the little yellow parts on the Grandpa Gundam's skirt.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, but we don't know what they're for. They're just there. But it's apparently the only version of the kit that actually has those. The HG doesn't have it, and you said...
The animation model
doesn't even have it. So we don't know if it's ablative armor or... It's on there. The box art has it for sure. And the fact that you really highlighted it in yellow definitely makes it stand out. It should. And like you said, you've got these like tow hook kind of situation and everything. Because I always felt like this thing was very utilitarian. They would just use it for whatever. Like, it could be something to fight with. It could be like a tractor. It could do a lot of things. So you could definitely see one of these things in like yellow and black out there in the field or something. At least that's my idea. But and then like originally this part here is actually yellow on the original kit.
And actually kind of like an orange.
Yeah, very orangey, yellowy color. Definitely not like this nice bright yellow. And I'm assuming those are Vulcans, or at least that's a Vulcan. It looks like.
You can actually, I don't know if you can anymore because paint's stuck, but you should be able to take that off, and there's you can see like a little gun on it there. Though I didn't do any detail on
okay.
that.
Well, I'm not gonna mess with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got all kinds of cool little points, and then like it's harder to see now, but you do get the clear pieces for the headlights right there on the shoulders. And we were talking about that earlier. It'd be cool if you wanted to throw some LEDs in it or something like that. You'd have to drill out the shoulders for sure. And then like you've got the clear piece way up here, which I don't know why they would put a light there. I guess if you're doing night operations, you need to see where it is.
Something, yeah.
But the irony is, I basically do that on any of my gym kits that have an antenna. I make it look like there's a light on the top.
Yeah.
However, this one was built that way. What the heck? Like, I mean, like, this thing is not built like a traditional Gunpla model. Designed, I should say. It's almost more like a toy. And it's really weird. Like, the extra clear bits for details, and a lot of the way things connect and move they're very advanced for how old a kit this is.
Yes.
And you don't see stuff like this. Like I said, we're talking articulation, and this is one of the craziest shoulder shrugs I've ever seen. It's on a track running across a center, like half, a hemisphere. What the heck? And it's just pivoting right there. It's not like it's got a joint that's coming out. So you basically have a just big disc-shaped center, and the arms slide around it more or less. You don't see that anywhere.
No.
I don't think other than this, I don't know of another suit designed this way. I'm sure it is, but where?
And it's a grunt suit. There's no reason for them to put this level of detail and work into it, but they did, and it's all the better for it. And was a very cool kit to put together. Just seeing all this stuff, all this little bits of engineering pieced together as I build it up was just amazing.
And the kind of mini fridge on the back here
Yes.
it's really cool. I mean, I like the detail. I mean, you did a good job, painted the communication wire going all through there. You got the big yellow part that sticks out. You've got your little, whatever that technically that's supposed to be, but it's a cool little thing. And then you've got the really beat up panel with the just whatever cautions or warnings or whatever on it. That's really cool. You painted the grates a silver. I mean, it is definitely looks like something that was designed in the 60s and is still being used in the early 2000s. Is really what it looks like. And then the butt skirt, which originally that's what I noticed, that this really does look like a big hunk of metal. Like it actually looks like a die-cast part that's been weathered a bit. So, I mean, I give a lot of credit to your use of paints there.
Thank you very much.
And I thought those were ammo clips, and it's just a big butt skirt.
Yes.
And it does pivot. I was being like super careful because I couldn't tell. So
it doesn't have a lot of articulation, but it doesn't quite need
that's more than you get out of some master grades with a big fixed butt skirt. And once again, you did the yellow here. I mean, it was hand painted, so I expect a little bit of slop. But it almost looks like it's been around a long time, and it just needed a cover paint job, like just real quick. Like they just grabbed whatever they could just to paint it up again. And then, of course, it got a little dirty. And that's one of the biggest problems with water slides is making sure they're even.
Yeah.
God, it's a pain
and
in the butt.
This is the only the second time I've ever used water slides, and the first time was ages ago and was just this big water slide on a Babylon 5 kit.
Oh wow, yeah. And I like that you did go with brown quote unquote panel lining. That's just like weathering and dirt, but that's what goes really well over a green kit. Like you can look at my Guzhin that I've got all weathered up. Pretty much anything that is green, you're going to want a panel line with brown. Plus it makes it very easy to just throw dirt on it because it works against the green.
For the panel lining, I actually did use Tamiya panel lining, the pre-thinned stuff with the little applicator.
Yep.
Which it went on a little bit messier than I had hoped, but it works for basically a weathered beat to heck kit.
Wow. Just real quick, I kind of skipping articulation, but I'll go back to it. But the feet, and you did the thing where he's definitely been walking through the muck, so the dirtiest parts are the feet. And a lot of people, I think, weather things evenly, like top to bottom. They don't even think about how something's really going to be working through, And so clearly the feet are going to be the muddiest part, and especially given where he's supposed to be walking, I guess, through Siberia and whatnot, if I had to guess. And this looks hinged, but I don't think we ever just figured out if it would go, like the actual ankle piece. It looks like it wants to move, but it doesn't at the same time, so I'm not going to force it. But it looks like that should fold up and get like a cleaner ankle, but it's like a bigger support.
It really needs that, though, so
No, I'm not arguing. I'm just saying, like, for walking around, it seems like you wouldn't use that, but, like, for standing still in battle, like, it would flip down. I could be wrong. I don't know. You built it. I don't. It's got this big tab hanging out the back, which makes me think that a different type of foot or something would go there. Same thing with right here. Like, it should have something hinged. And, of course, the kit itself would be a base version, and they throw whatever else on it, like a big tank sticking straight out of the butt,
Exactly, yeah.
And, yeah, it feels... Just for obviously the way you made it, it feels Russian.
Yes.
It feels very Soviet, as you said before. Let me see if I can up dummy, and then zoom in on that head a little bit. I don't want to pull it too close, but I can zoom. Very nice. And it looks like just a sunken Zaku head. The head itself does not turn, but as you pointed out, actually, wow, look at that torso articulation. You can pop the head off, or just the top of the head, and you literally have a Zaku head underneath it. So you can just rotate the eye, and it does turn up or down. That's pretty cool. And then this just plugs right back on. So realistically, the eye moves, but the head doesn't need to. That's, that makes sense. It's utilitarian. literally like the bare simplest way they could figure out how to do it.
And you know what? I think in the animation, if you look at it, I don't think the heads actually move.
No, they don't. You just see the eye
Right.
move back and forth. They scan. And yeah, you can see the nice reflected painted eye because you didn't use the sticker, and I can applaud that. Yeah, I'm to that point as well. Was that just the red metallic marker?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or, yeah.
Yeah, Gundam
and,
marker.
I had used the stickers on the lights initially, and then I kept on looking at it and everything else. Like, no, this doesn't work anymore with all the other weathering stuff. So I had to disassemble it, take the sticker off. I actually lost one of the pieces for like a good hour or so into like my shag carpet in my
Yep.
work area. And I was sort of like, you know what? Okay, a happy accident. I'll make it look like it was blasted out. I'll put some weathering in there, and then I found it later. I was like, okay, paint this part silver on the underside, put it in, never touch it again.
Yeah, see, that would be where a chrome marker would have been your friend.
Yeah, I have I used a silver Gundam marker
Yeah.
on the reverse side.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if you had the Malto chrome, that would give you a little bit more shine.
I've been seeing videos about that. And
Oh yeah, it's good stuff.
Amazing.
Oh yeah. It doesn't when it's still exposed. It oxidizes, gets a little ugly. I don't know why it does that, but other than that, I like the Molotov. We already discussed the butterfly. That's really good. You've seen the torso joint, which is ridiculous, forward and back, and it can tilt. I'm just being careful. And you can rotate, and I like how the center ring for the hips is actually kind of captured a little bit. So like, we don't want it to fall out like it did before. Like it's like everything seems like, okay, we take the same design and we just add stuff to it as stuff goes wrong. So yeah, and then the shoulder joints just plug in through there. We can go all the way around like you do. You got a hinge to almost 90. Actually, you can definitely go 90 like so. You have bicep rotation. You've got double jointed elbow, although very limited by just the design. Is what it is. We have one of my favoriteest things ever, forearm rotation, which is easy to do on a circular design instead of square. Although which kit? There's a kit I just built. It's an HG, but it has forearm rotation. It's a square arm. I have to figure out which one it is. You do get a hinged wrist joint in here, and then the standard kind of no grade H grade high grade ball joint in there for, of course, this thumb. And as we discussed before, these probably should move, but that one definitely is not from now on. But if you throw all that together, you can definitely get a good high teacher, like way up in there. Yay! Hi, my name is Tieren, which sounds like a real name. Okay, and then we come up to the front skirts, which is not even a skirt at all. It is just the bottom of a piece of equipment that they threw legs on.
Pretty much.
That's what it looks like. They're like, okay, let's remove the tracks and just throw legs on.
I think in the instruction booklet they even show like pictures of tanks being. It's like, yeah, this thing is designed as a walking tank.
This thing, if they didn't have tank versions of it, there should be. Like, I could see you easily taking a gun tank, taking the entire leg section, just slapping it underneath this guy. So there's nothing going on up in here, but this would be a place for lights, as we discussed before. So those look like they should be lights, but they aren't. Or at least part-wise, they're not a light, but they might actually be in the series. We don't know. Actually, this thing really reminds me of more like a Jaeger from Pacific Rim than something from a Gundam universe. Now, the hips do function somehow. Probably like this. They rotate. That looks like a piece of hose, like a radiator hose, not a Gundam part. And is that a ball joint? Why is it? I guess it's a ball joint into here, right? So is this like a T mount right through here?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of weird. Like the joint part for that. It's kind of weird because it almost looks like an old Civil War mini ball.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So it is a ball joint. It goes into the top of the leg. You do get rotation here. Trying to make sure I don't hit anything. So you get thigh rotation. You're not going all the way around, but you can if you need to. And you can kick forward about that far with those big chunky thighs. You can kick back about that far. And let's see here. Not too much of a Jean-Claude, depending on where you position those legs. So he could do the splits, but he just chooses not to. And then we come down. The giant leg armor, for no reason whatsoever, is hinged down here, and you can swap it leg to leg, it looks like.
Yeah.
And you do get a double jointed knee that if you go to the side, you can see how far it actually goes. Hey! Yeah. He's happy.
For its
He's happy
Magic
go
Girl
lucky.
transformation.
Yes. Actually, you could just pretend like he's missing a leg. There we go. Are you going to stand like that? Probably not. Do it. Nope, you won't do it. Okay. No! Okay.
Well, now you can see what the joining is like on there.
We call him Skip. All right. That's just going to go right back up in there somehow. This is the fun part. Try to find a polycap. Crap.
It's still in there.
It's there somewhere. There we go. There's your ball joint. And yeah, you're right. It totally looks like a bullet. Look at that. That's cool. Paint some eyes on it. You got a bullet bill. Which I have bullet bill right up there.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you didn't say anything about my wall of Nintendo parts.
What is there to say? It's amazing.
It's okay. It's okay. You don't like Nintendo figures. I get it. Get in there, you little so-and-so. Oh, it is in there. Okay. Now, down to the ankles. After we cut that. You get foot rotation. You get pivot back and forth on your polycap. You can tilt one way or the other. The toes do point just a little bit. I feel like they want to go down, but they're not going to. And then you've just got the back section, which also feels like it should go somewhere, but it doesn't. And then the lovely weathering. I like the bottom even. They at least gave you some details. So he's a big old boy, and he does what he's supposed to do. It's actually pretty neat. Oh, I guess I didn't really talk about it. We did show off the shoulder armor. It does move around. You can kind of play with it however you like. I like that it's so far out instead of tucked like right against the shoulder, like a Zaku. Mm-hmm. But I could probably see people like trimming this down, like just snugging it in a little bit, or even adding weapon mounts. Which there's hinges and hooks everywhere on this guy.
Yeah.
So you could probably, if you really wanted to get to it, you could definitely customize this guy.
I almost set it up so that the one of the shoulder mounted armor bits was going to be mounted on the arm, sort of like as a punching thing that you see. You see it on some versions of like the Zaku one, I want to say.
Oh yeah, that would totally work. I'm trying to get him into a pose, sort of. The feet don't really tilt, and ankle tilt is always important, but nobody ever does it. Not properly, anyways. See, not being able to move the head is a weird thing. Like, getting this guy in a thumbnail is going to be a little interesting. But it's pretty cool. I do dig it. I like it as a kit. Well, what is your overall satisfaction? You built it.
I was super happy with this thing. Especially considering, like I said, all the conventional Gunpla wisdom is like, once you go past like 2010, the kits start getting really iffy. And so I got this thing thinking like maybe it was going to be a brick or just not well engineered, but no, it is actually a really well built, well engineered kit.
I was going to say what it is a well engineered brick. It's like,
I mean,
it is a brick. It's just well engineered.
Its brickiness is part of its design, but there's all sorts of little touches that are there that don't have to be there.
No,
it's a grunt suit. It's not a hero suit. It's from a no grade line from
2008.
2008, yeah. Yep. So,
yay! Hey, by the way, I got the hand open by completely popping it off.
That happens.
See, that's how you work the hand, ladies and gentlemen. You just jam a gun until it falls off. That is how you get to it. And then now we can use the weapons effectively. When in doubt, break the hand. But I just wanted to get him where he's ready for battle. Tieren Ground type, ready for battle. Paint him up blue like a Space Marine and just let it go. That looks good. All right. Well, I definitely appreciate you bringing it over.
No problem.
It's definitely fun. It's a great way to open up 00CTOBER, although this review has probably gone a little bit long. I don't care. It's a long video. But yeah, we can do the point for it. It's big. It's green. Go buy it.
Yes.
Okay.
If you can find it, I would recommend it, yeah.
I definitely would. And I know a lot of people definitely like the 1 to 100 line. And hopefully, if Nick actually brings them over in time, we will be able to look at a lot of the no grade 1 to 100 line. But guys, of course, if you are new here, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button because, well, it's really important that you hit that subscribe button with the way YouTube is doing things nowadays. And of course, go back and check out all the other previous 00CTOBER videos since they're pretty much one of the biggest things on my channel. So the playlist will be at the end of the video. Of course, if you guys want to help support the channel a little bit, hit the little Patreon thingy that'll be right here on the screen and become a patroneer, like all the guys already have. And of course, if you want to buy any Shoki merch, it'll be right here on the screen. Go get you a t-shirt of some sort. Speaking of t-shirts,
I have a TeePublic and Redbubble store. So just look for Rodimus 13 there, and I have a few Gundam designs and.
You're wearing one right now.
Yep, I am wearing one right now, which you can't see because I'm on the other side of the camera.
I'll get a video of it right there.
And got some Gundam designs, some Transformer stuff, Tokusatsu, just general nerdy.
Seems like robotic if it's robotic.
Yeah.
But the link will be in the description down below my t-shirt. Like.
Yes.
But either way, that's his payment. It's like here's your shameless plug.
Yay!
But guys, we'll catch you next time, and remember, as always, to keep on building.